evening, hockey fans, and welcome to Puckett, the Stanley Cup Final Edition. We are back. We've been gone for a couple months, but we're back in full force here, covering the finals. Joining me is my co-host Edward and John. How we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Excellent. Glad to have the gang back together.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Okay, guys. So, without I guess we'll just get right into it. Without further ado, rematch is on here. We've got the Panthers and Edmonton Oilers again. First time you've had a back-to-back series like this since my Penguins and Red Wings did it back in 08-09. So, what do you guys think? I mean, I got some storylines that I want to talk about. Let's hear what you guys think here.
Go ahead, John.
Well, the biggest thing, the biggest storyline for me is McDavid. I mean, for me, it's him. I mean, won the Conn Smythe last year. The way it looks, I mean, it's hard for me to envision him not winning this. I after watching the playoffs, it's hard for me to think that he's going to lose this series. That they're going to lose. I think he's gotten to the point where he may be that good to where he can control things. Certainly will be able to on Edmonton ice, because I was just listening to TSN, and they were saying that when the Sam Bennett McDavid matchup doesn't go well for Florida. They really need Barkov on the ice with McDavid. In Edmonton, though, of course, they should be able to get that matchup with the last change and all that as much as they can. But for me, it's the McDavid angle. Like, what happens? Because he's done everything you can do to win, for sure.
So for me, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Bill.
No, go ahead.
So for me, it's one word and one word only: defense. Will the Edmonton Oilers commit to playing defense, and can the Florida Panthers make them play defense extended period of time? So if they play defense in Edmonton, I think they win. If Florida keeps them on the defensive side with long shifts and mucking and grinding, dumping and chasing, I think that the edge goes to Florida.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the Panthers. If they win a cup again, they'd be the third team this century to be repeat Stanley Cup champions. Penguins, obviously, 2016, 2017, and then the Lightning in 2020 and 2021. Prior to the Penguins, what was it? The Red Wings, I think, 97, 98 was the last.
Did the Kings do it back-to-back?
No, they did not.
It's three, but what about the Blackhawks? Did they do any back-to-back?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was the Red Wings in 97, 98. Penguins in 2016, 2017, Lightning in 2020 and 2021. So we got a comment already. Michael is chiming in saying Edmonton in 6. Maybe.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time Oilers won? 90? Was it 90?
Oh, what did they win? It was the 80s, right? No, you're right. Messier won.
He won, and then he left, and I think.
What year was that?
Was it 90?
God. That's a great question. I don't
know. I thought it was 90 in the last time they won. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, right? Because the Islanders 90. It was 90. Okay. Right.
It was 90?
Yep.
Was it really? Okay. Because, 89, I think, was the Flames, right? I think it was the Flames, and then it was the Oilers. Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But then Canada won in 93 with Montreal.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that was wait a second. Was that when was the last time? Okay. When was the last time that Canada? It's been like 30-something years, right? Am I
93.
93 when the Canadians won.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the last time. So 32 years ago.
Indeed.
So,
yep.
Yeah, long time. So, I don't know. It's a couple stories. I mean, what are you guys looking at storyline wise? I'm gonna give you mine. You guys give me yours first, though.
Go ahead, John.
1990.
Yeah, 1990. I mean, The matchups are incredibly good in this. I mean, it's unfortunate about Zach Hyman. What a shame, right? He was in last year's Cup final. This year, he's going to have to watch it. That's going to hurt. That hurts. I thought what Ed said before about how you make them play defense. I've watched Florida a lot, and they hit you and hit you and hit you. They make the defense not want to go back and get the puck. Now, I mean, Edmonton does that well themselves, and they play defense well. I mean, it's been pretty good. Now, Skinner, there you go. There's a good storyline. You're going to get good Skinner or bad. Good Skinner has been unreal. He's been shutting people out. Bad Skinner will give up 5. So right. Where does Skinner? I mean, it's been more good Skinner. I guess that's a huge storyline. Him. Yeah. He's going to have to be, good Skinner, not mediocre Skinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to definitely look at the goalies, obviously. Bobrovsky's playing again at a high level. And Skinner. And really for me, it's really comes down to those, those second and third line players. I mean, it's easy enough to get the matchups you want on the first line and kind of contain that on both sides, both teams. But who on those other lines are going to do anything? You look at Edmonton, or you look at. I mean, you got Sam Bennett second line. You got Marchand on the third line. Their fourth line's not spectacular, but that's Thomas Nosek and AJ Greer. They're pretty good. But the Oilers, who's going to step up from them? Are Leon is Draisaitl and McDavid? Are they going to take over games? They're going to win a game. How are they going to be? I mean, I think Nurse is finally healthy, so it's good for the Edmonton defense. But I just think it depends on what those the players that we're not talking about all the time. They're the ones. It's like the accoutrements on a salad or something like that. We know what the salad is. It's Barkov and Kachuk versus Draisaitl and McDavid. We know that, but who on the outside is going to do something?
Right?
Is it a Connor Brown? Is it a Trent Frederick? Is it like I said, AJ Greer? Is it Anton Lundo? I mean, what is somebody going to do? Is Marchand going to come out and have a fabulous series? Net 2-3 goals, 4-5 assists, something like that. So I mean, I would look to those. We know what we're going to get with the salad. We know that. We know, and you have to look at the defense. I mean, I think their defenses are pretty evenly matched. Yeah. So I mean, it's going to come down to those complementary players. Who's going to step up? Who's going to put it in? Basically, we're going to talk after next week. How many games are going to be played by next week? 2, 3?
Yeah.
By next Tuesday? Yeah.
Let me think. Yeah, 3? I don't. 3. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. I mean, pretty much after the third game, we're gonna know, who's stepping up and what adjustments they have to make. So for me, it's complementary players, because it's going to be huge, because they're going to be able to. Home ice is also, it doesn't usually matter in the NHL, but I think in this series it does, because with Edmonton has 4 home games, so maybe they're going to get a better chance of winning it, because they're going to get the opportunity to do the last substitution. So I think it's going to be closer than it was. I mean, it went 7 games last year. It was 2-1 in the final. But I mean, Hyman, that just hurts, man. That just really hurts. So go ahead, Billy.
We got Daniel Berry. Hey, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, Daniel. And then we got Joe Sullivan chiming in. Second and third lines could make the difference.
Definitely, yeah.
I like him already.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep.
Stuart Skinner, I mean, he's been on his game as of late, guys. He really has. Almost unbeatable, I would go. I mean, look at what he did, and he ended the second round against the Knights with back-to-back shutouts.
Yeah.
He was consistent against Dallas. Took a lot of shots in that Dallas series, and didn't give up a lot of goals. So and on the other side, Bobrovsky's been amazing as well. He's been absolutely amazing. And
Tampa Bay's number, though, don't you? I mean, I'm sorry. I think they have Carolina's number. Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You had Alex Lyon there for the first 3 games for Florida, and then Bobrovsky started at game 4, and that was it. It hasn't looked back since. He's been in there. So, but I think one of the storylines for me is McDavid and Draisaitl. These two, they win this. They win the Stanley Cup this year. You're cementing a legacy. I mean, it's similar to Gretzky and Messier. who we remember, years ago battling the Islanders for all those years. But I've said it before. He's got to win. He's got. I mean, this guy has been in the league over a decade, and has yet to win a cup. And I hate to say it, but most of the great ones, after being in the league for a decade, most of the great ones have hoisted a cup. Most of them have when you look at it. That's if he's not able to win again this year, you have to really ask yourself, okay, well, when is he going to win, or is he ever going to win? I don't know. It's you have.
I mean, for him, I think it's a little different because he puts the points up. He is on the.
Yeah.
He is. It's different. Some stars, to your point, some stars kind of fade away, but he's got. I mean, he's been consistently, especially in the playoffs. They've been putting up so many. Him and Draisaitl have been putting up ridiculous.
Well,
points.
yeah. I mean, 26 points, 6 goals, 20 assists for McDavid. Draisaitl 25, 7 goals and 18 assists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Draisaitl for me, he's more of the one. He has to play defense. He's lazy as lazy comes.
Yeah.
He is not hustling back. He just isn't.
Yeah.
Where McDavid, he'll play line to line, but they get Draisaitl to buy in for long stretches and play defense. I think they have an edge.
Here's another storyline. What about Marchand? What about his presence and impact? There's no doubt about it. In this series, we're getting this series again for the second time.
Wow.
And you're getting something a little extra. You're getting Brad Marchand this time. He's a big part of this. He's going to be a big part of the story. I mean,
what's a big part of this? I mean, Florida was able to get Seth Jones, which is unbelievable. They were able to get Marchand while Ekblad is suspended for PEDs. Right. You have the other guy gets hurt in the Kachuk in that Four Nations waste of time. And then he doesn't come back, of course. They leave him out with LTIR. And now they're able, there is just baked in this when you're in Florida, it's a little easier to make these things happen than it is anywhere else. We're seeing it. How many times has Florida and Tampa now been in the finals? It's a Florida Cup. It's just them.
Yeah.
But they're capable of doing things that other locations can't. For some reason, well, I guess it must be because if I have to pay Sam Bennett 10 to come to Vancouver, they only have to pay 8. Right. So there is. When you look at, they got Ekblad and Seth Jones. Look at that defense that Florida has put together. My God, it's like fantasy hockey, and I just it actually kind of bothers me a little bit. Because Ekblad, think about what he was suspended for. He was suspended for PEDs for 25 whatever it was, and here he is. So
here he is, rested and ready to go for the playoffs.
Yeah. But Joe Sullivan commented second and third lines could make the difference. I don't know what you guys feel, but I think Marchand, he's been playing on that third line. He's filled out that line pretty good, I think.
Oh, he's a Stanley Cup winner. Essentially, and here's what Florida's going to do. After every single flip and whistle, every stoppage, Florida's going to face wash. They're going to do this. Who keeps their cool? Who on Edmonton it doesn't retaliate? A Corey Perry. He's the same kind of agitator. So if they're able to give it back and not retaliate, then I think that's another plus for Edmonton. But if they get in that stupid game of being upset from a face wash and retaliating, there they go in the box. Now they're on special teams. So, a lot of that's in there. And it's funny you say that, John. Excuse me. The states without state income tax. It is a true advantage in all sports. And it's not talked about a lot. It really isn't. But especially, with the mixed sport, with having teams in Canada, like baseball as well. That's a huge thing. That's not even, it could almost be like 2.5 to 3 million difference, right? Year over year. So, it's a huge advantage in those two. It just is. No league has actually talked about it. Because you have MLB, you have NBA, you have NHL that have teams across border. I guess the MLS as well. But nobody really talks about that at all. I mean, the fact that that's a huge advantage money wise. That saves you. I mean, if you get 2, 3, 4 players, I mean, now you're talking 10, 12, 15, $18 million in savings from freaking income tax,
Yeah.
So it's wild.
You mentioned Corey Perry. I mean, this is another guy who, he's 40 years old. I mean, Marchand is 37, but this is a guy, who's he's been playing in the Stanley Cup final for the 5th time in 6 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. He was on the losing end for I think the past 4.
Yeah.
2020, I think he was with the Stars. 2021, I believe he was with Canadians. Yeah, in 2022 with the Lightning, and then last year with the Oilers. So
yeah,
we got Sam chiming in. He says, "Rest in peace, Boston Bruins." Okay, got it.
I mean, Corey Perry's like what? Corey Perry's one of the greats.
Yeah.
Then he won the Hart Trophy. He's done it all. I mean, this guy.
Yeah. He's like a Peter Sikora, man. That guy was like in every. If you remember, Peter Sikora was in a ton of Stanley Cup Finals as well. You remember him? I mean, he's like, so, but
yeah, it's wild with Corey Perry. That is wild.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you another thing you can't overlook too is Florida's road success.
8-2,
yeah. Florida has had road success, and Edmonton has had good home success. So I don't know. That's kind of bucking a trend though when you can win like that on the road. That's kind of that kind of when you're able to be dominant away from home. Like you said, at 8-2 in the first 3 rounds, that's pretty damn good.
It is.
Including a 3-0 in the Eastern Conference Final against the Canes.
Yep.
Do you guys think that because of Edmonton's power play, which is, how that gets going, that Florida's going to have to be careful? They're going to have to watch all the. I mean, Sam Bennett can't keep punching goalies in the head and knocking them out. No. I mean, he tried. He tried to do it to Anderson. Agreed. He almost got him. Yep. He got Stolars.
Right. Agreed.
Totally so they're going to have to. Yeah, they're going to have to be a little careful. I think you don't want to get into the power play game with Edmonton.
A lot of that lie on the NHL allowing that nonsense. I mean,
yeah, I don't know how they allowed it. I don't know. Yes.
I don't know why they allow it. Why it was suspended? I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know either. That was very puzzling to me as to why that was.
Especially when the news comes out after the fact that he, concussed. I mean, it's absurd. Yeah, right. I mean, you take him to the home office and they have a meeting with him and nothing happens. Come on, give me a break.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was people have been suspended for way less.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We'll see what happens. You got game 1 and 2 at Rogers Place. We'll see what happens. And Oilers, what are they? Their first 3 rounds are 6-1 at home, I think.
Yeah. So not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Like I said, Florida's 8-2.
And look
on the road in the first 3 rounds. Like I said, including the 3-0 in the Eastern Conference Final against the Hurricanes. And Hurricanes were 5-0 at home in the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
So I mean, that should tell you something.
Yeah. Home, John, you're right. Their home power play is 56%. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you look at who Edmonton had to go through to get here, compared to who Florida did. I mean, the Leafs are what they are. That was their strongest opponent. I mean, they got rid of Tampa, who isn't the same. I don't know what that Carolina team to me. I don't know how weak that Metro division is, but my goodness, they didn't even look like they belonged.
I mean, that just was surprising to me, shocking to me when you look at what the Carolina had did in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, you thought they were going to go further. I just think it's a bad matchup for them. That's all.
Yeah.
Had anybody beaten Florida, I think the Canes would have made it to the finals.
I see, and I kind of disagree with that. I don't know if I can't see the Canes after watching that team. For me,
it's so bad. They were historically bad
with Freddie Anderson and that. I mean, even throughout the playoff. I mean, they got New Jersey, who I mean, it's just Edmonton's road to the cup. What was it? L.A. Who was it? Vegas. L.A. Dallas. Vegas and Dallas. So, I mean, Man.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some formidable opponents, no doubt.
And
But I mean,
I'm just
going into that series against the Canes for Florida, I thought that was going to be a monumental test for them.
And it's funny.
really
I thought they were, and I got to be honest, I thought
And it
they'd kill
wasn't.
them. I thought they would kill them. I after watching them, what they did with Toronto, I thought for sure that they will just eat them alive because they're small. They're kind of they're little. They don't have any pushback at all.
They don't
And
have any stars either. All they do is dump and chase.
yeah, and I'm like, and they're not big enough, right? They just couldn't.
Right.
And I got to give some of those guys credit. One guy, Seth Jarvis, he's a great player.
Yeah.
He really is for Carolina. But
Yeah.
It makes me wonder though, and for teams in the Metro, that's a weak. That was weak. That was a very weak because Washington. I mean, I thought it's fun. I thought they would be ones that could give Florida a little bit of a hard time because their size. They kind of got that size about them if they use it.
They don't match up well against Carolina. They really never have.
Yeah,
but they played terrible hockey all year. They kept feeding Ovechkin. It was great. He broke the record, but their habits they built up. I mean, awful.
Right.
They couldn't even get the puck out of the zone against Carolina. That's how bad they were.
Right.
Can you guys? Let me ask you guys a question real quick. You probably can't see this. I know I'd be shocked if someone wins 3 in a row.
Oh yeah, I agree. I would be too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
Well,
too. I can see Edmonton going. If Edmonton wins 2, I'm going to be hard pressed to say that Florida comes back. I really am.
Yeah.
They win those 2 at home.
I really believe. I mean, both teams have good goaltending. Both teams, I would say, have depth in scoring, right? I mean, you have both of those teams have very unique goal scorers and a plethora of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Oilers alone, if I read correctly, I remember reading a stat. I think it was 14 forwards with at least 1 goal.
That's impressive.
You have Florida.
They were racking up the scores there for a while. I mean,
Yeah,
they put a couple 7s on the board, a couple 6s.
Yeah. And you have Florida with 7 defensemen with at least 1 goal. That's very impressive. Yeah, I mean that's amazing. So
especially when you get the D involved. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what other storyline. Am I missing anything?
I mean, I think we got.
How about Ekblad? What do we say about him?
He's rested, baby. Ready to go.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of the mockery of the PED.
He came in game 2 of the Leaf series and has been a beast. Like him and Seth Jones is, he's slotted perfectly. So,
Ekblad, he's what, over 800 games in a Panthers uniform.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's one of. I think is he the all-time leader now in games played for them among defensemen? I'm not sure.
Probably.
Yeah,
I would think so. Probably.
He might be right behind Barkov, right? I mean,
yeah.
So and he's on the last year of his contract too. He's
a free agent.
Yeah, July 1, he's a free agent. So
I thought because MLB, you're not allowed to play in the postseason. NHL doesn't care.
Yeah, they don't care. No.
So
they're
what's
good.
the point? I mean, you can do all the PEDs you want. They're still in the system.
And Bennett technically, he's in the last year of his 4-year contract as well. He's a UFA on July 1 as well.
Yeah, we were talking about that when you're changing headphones. That in order for him to go to Toronto, it's going to cost a couple extra million.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I mean, you're looking at Ekblad, Marchand, and Bennett. I guess are the decisions for them on July 1st. Oh, there's one guy that I forgot I wanted to bring. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins finally is having a really good playoff. By the way, for Edmonton, he's having he is almost a difference maker, and that's big for the Oilers. The other thing, guys, I'm curious on the speed. This is going to be interesting because I know when the Leafs beat Florida and they were having it was always they were getting behind the defense. They were always getting behind the defense. They somehow were getting, and I just wonder if Edmonton might have that same success or not because, the speed.
Let me ask you guys, I want to get both of your opinions on this. Do you think Florida's a better team than they were last year? I mean, they won the cup last year. I think they're better. I think, when you look at it, they've got a plus 27 goal differential in 17 games, and I think that they were a plus 11 last season.
Well, their third line. Their third line is way better.
Yeah,
You had a Brad Marchand.
right. I mean, you added Setcha,
Yeah.
you added Brad Marchand. You upgrade.
I
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, on the flip side of it, Edmonton has a little bit deeper roster, but I mean, Florida has really, I think the most impressive part of the Oilers, I guess defensively, they've been able to close out some games,
Yeah.
especially against the Stars, but I don't know. To me, I think Florida's scary good. They're better. I'm going to say it. I think Florida's going to win again. I really do.
We didn't do predictions yet.
Yeah, well, we're just going to do the game one. I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to keep the audience
Intact.
Yeah, so I don't want to.
Game one, I'm taking Edmonton.
Yeah.
Edmonton 3-1.
Okay, let's go ahead and pick them. John, what do you say?
Yeah, I don't know which game Edmonton. It feels like it's going to be a split in Edmonton. I'll give Edmonton game one, because I do believe this, though. Like Ed said, if Edmonton goes and wins two, Florida's going to have some real pressure on them, because I could see a split in Florida. So yes, I like Edmonton to win game one.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go the exact opposite. I think Florida. I think they're going to win 3-1. I think you're going to have you're going to look at a 2-1 late in the third, and they're going to pull the goaltender for an extra attacker, and I think Florida gets that empty netter to close it out.
Billy, if Florida wins that first game, it's over. It's just over. That blows the mystique of the Edmonton home ice. It really does.
Right.
I mean, if that happens, Edmonton's heads are immediately going to go down. And they're going to start hearing the echoes and the ghosts of the past, and that's it.
Here's what this might be a little bit hyperbole, but I think Florida's going to take what Edmonton gives them. I think that they're built to shut down this Oilers team. I think when you look at it, they can score with the Oilers, but I think they can defend as good as any team in the NHL right now. I mean. Yeah. And I just think that's gonna make problems for the Oilers.
So similar to soccer, you think they're gonna sit back in a defensive shell and counterattack when they can?
Exactly. Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that happening because they don't care.
I mean,
they're going to be more relaxed.
Yeah, and I mean, they don't get flustered. They don't get flustered. You don't see them getting flustered in this entire playoffs. Not once did you ever see them. They don't lose their confidence.
Yep.
They maximize their opportunities, and I agree, Ed. They're going to sit back. They're going to be patient. They're going to be meticulous, and when you look at it,
that's bad news for Edmonton. Happens.
When you look at it, Carolina was very stingy on defense,
right?
And all the Panthers did was just sit back and wait for their chances, and when they got chances, they pounced on them.
Carolina is not dynamic on offense. They're just not.
No, they're not.
The best team that they faced was Toronto.
Yeah,
I mean that was the best offensive team they faced to date.
Yeah,
because Tampa was old. They're not doing anything.
I think Edmonton should put pressure on them with their speed. There should be some pressure put on. They should not be able to sit back unless they're going to hurt somebody. I don't see how they can sit back with the speed that Edmonton's going to throw at them. Because if they sit back, I think they're in trouble. In my opinion, they'd be in trouble.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just saying. I think the speed is a huge part of this game, this series.
Yeah. So, how many people do you think they allow to go in the zone when they dump it in, and how many do you think they keep back to get the puck out of their zone? Like, if they're going to dump and chase, are they going to send 3 into the offensive zone, knowing full well Edmonton will skate circles around them if they get free? Right? What are they? Are they going to be more cautious on offense? Put more energy into the defense. It's going to be interesting.
Very interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
If McDavid loses again, I mean, what do you say about him? Is this? I mean, what do you say about his legacy so far? I know he's still, he's still going to be playing, a number of years in the NHL. But I mean, to lose again? I mean, is that, I don't know, is that window maybe starting to shut a little bit?
Bill, your point earlier was perfect. When you said if he doesn't win this year, when does he win?
Right.
You know,
Because I mean, at some point in time, Edmonton's, they're not going to be able to sustain. I don't think what they're going to be. They're not going to be able to sustain this year after year. Most NHL teams can't. And I don't know. I just don't. And what I'm saying is, you're not going to see. I don't. This day and age, you don't see. You don't see teams in the finals 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 years in a row, or even 4 or 5 times in 6 or 7 years, right? I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I just think that, like I said, this guy's been in over a decade. He's been in the league.
Yeah.
And if you can't, I'm sorry, but if you can't win a cup, I mean, stats, mean everything in the world. I get it, but so does cups. So does cups.
You kind of need some help with cups, though. I mean, you can't win cups if your goaltending is as leaky as a strainer. I mean, you also got to have some stuff with you. Now, he might have stuff with him now. I mean, now I don't know about the past. I don't know, but at this point, though, I think they should win this series. They should win. I agree with you, Bill. They should win this series. I don't think there's any reason why they don't win this. So, this is going to be one.
Florida, you're saying.
No, I mean Edmonton. I don't see why. Like I'm saying, it's that close. So McDavid might be able to make the difference. I'm kind of agreeing with you on McDavid's legacy coming up. Like this could be a huge one. Last year they lose and he wins the Conn Smythe. This year he needs to win and win the Conn Smythe.
Right. Yeah,
so, and I think it's possible.
I don't care what anybody says. He's got to feel the pressure.
Oh yeah,
he's got to feel the pressure.
He says he does.
He's got to look at it. Yeah, he's got to feel the pressure. I mean, this is
all of Canada's on his back, man. They want to try.
And I'm telling you right now, this is a tough Florida team. This is a team that's. This is a team that just
The biggest problem is they're missing Hyman. That sucks. That really does.
That hurts.
He's an emotional guy for them too.
Skinner's been great, but I'll tell you what, and he's been really great as of late. But we've also seen him implode too.
Oh, I know. That's
You go back to John's point though. I mean, are they planning on stepping right up to the line and tapping their toe across the line on hurting people in Florida? That's really the only way. I mean, truly it is, John. I mean, their speed is Florida can't hang with that speed. There's no way.
No, they're pretty slow. No, there's no way. They won't be able to. I mean, but if they're going to hold, I mean, I don't know how they're going to
somebody's knee. I mean, I'm with you, John. That's one of the only ways. It really is. Are they going to straddle that line, knowing full well that the NHL is going to be hesitant to suspend anybody?
They've been doing it, yeah.
NHL doesn't want to intervene in the Stanley Cup and be the reason why X superstar was out.
Look at the hit Kachuk put on Hagel in that series.
Exactly.
Holy, that was. I mean, and then let alone what happens with the goalie in Toronto. I mean, those things. So completely I would assume.
Yeah.
Now, if they knock out McDavid, someone's getting suspended.
Well, then it just becomes a Donnybrook. They go after each other every play. I mean, that's just.
Right.
I mean, that's such rubbish in Bush League. Just because you can't hang with them speed wise. And that's Florida does that a lot.
I do think they're going to have to watch the penalties, though. You don't want to get in that power play game with them.
Right.
The Edmonton power play is just deadly. So I think they're going to have to be careful.
Yeah. If I'm Paul Maurice, I'm kind of really emphasizing that too with my guys. I'm saying, hey, guys, we have to play smart. We got to play aggressive. We have to play aggressive. We got to play our game and what we know we can do, but we got to play smart. Like you said, you cannot take dumb penalties. That's just not can't do it.
Yeah.
So, but
They're a machine. I do agree, man. Florida. I mean, you look at them, and you heard Paul Maurice, right? I'm sure. I don't know if you guys heard it when they wired him up on the bench, and he's saying we got to hit them now in game 1 because by game 7 they won't want to be hit no more. So that's, you know what, man? That's the way you. That's how you win.
Yeah.
So
we got Kyle. I'm just glad Carolina is out, but between the Oilers and Panthers, I'm hoping the Oilers pull it off.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. I mean, the whole country of Canada is.
Yeah.
I mean, to have that kind of drought in the game that you know,
that's the game that you invented.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's dispute about that, but essentially the game you invented. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about these Florida teams continuing winning. For someone, it is aggravating. It is kind of annoying watching these teams from markets that don't care if they don't give a. They don't care at all. Honestly, come on, when you really think about it. And
I would agree with that, but I think that you know, Florida's now. I mean, they're kind of I don't know. I mean, they're starting to put butts in the seats, and I think you have a lot of transplants from down there, and you just have you know.
I mean, to John's point, this is the 6th year with the Florida team. Six straight
it's
years.
Balanced out by the baseball teams. Kyle chimes in. It's balanced out by the baseball teams being awful.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, Kyle, there's no salary cap, so the baseball teams could be unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no salary cap. They can offer more money than any teams can offer in the country.
Yeah.
Right.
So. All right. So let's just recap our predictions. Ed, you say what? 2-1,
3-1, baby.
3-1. Okay, John.
Oh, let me give you a score. 6-3 Edmonton.
Whoa.
Wow. Marlins and Rays are utterly bad.
Yeah, but they could be good.
Yeah. They could be, right?
I'm going, like I said, I think it's going to be 2-1 Florida late in the third. They pull the goaltender for an extra tacker, Edmonton, and I think they get the empty netter and they win it 3-1.
Let me say one thing for the people out there. Watch Bobrovsky. He's a little leaky. I've been watching shots at him go through him a little bit, like he's got something with his chicken wing or something. Been a little leaky. I am curious to see him. So,
Bears 152, 108 hockey. Oilers 4-3 game 1. Oilers 4-3. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, I'll tell you what, this is great. I mean, and I'm so glad we're going to be covering it because I tell you what, we're going to have a lot to talk about, gentlemen. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, everybody. Hey, we'll be back at it next week. We should have 3 games? So we'll have a lot of storylines to talk about. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about next week. So this was just a little preview for you. Like I said, we wanted to bring Puckett back for this series because it's going to be a great one. So, but we are back, and we will. Like I said, we'll be back next week, and I think we're going to see some really good hockey, guys. I really do. So, but all right, everybody. Hey, tune in next week. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we will see you later.